Okay, how you guys? How is your day? Today on the Gumbo Pot, we're going to talk about codependency. And we're going to come from a different angle that we're used to talking about codependency. We're going to talk about the people who's codependent on people who's codependent on chemicals and whatever substances, whatever people be codependent on. We're gonna talk about the people who's codependent on them people. The people who's obsessed with other people, good or bad. Other people's issues, good or bad. Other people's problems, other people's lives, other people's circumstances, good or bad. The people that's codependent on those people. Now, when I mention codependent people that's dependent on other people, these people are normally viewed as good people, which they are. They are most of the time. They're good people. Most of the time, these are therapists, these are doctors, these are people you consider woke. It's Big Mama, it's Mama, it's the grandparents, your grandfather, things like that. That's what I'm talking about. And if I didn't mention the therapists, the healers, things like that, ministers, pastors, people who job is to help people, those people are never viewed as codependent people. But I realized, including myself, as being a codependent person. Now, you have a variety of codependent people. I'm talking about is a lot. You wouldn't even we're not going to even get through half of the people that in half of the ways that people can be codependent to other people. So basically, I guess we'll just stick to maybe the big mamas, and we'll just roll with that and see where it go. But let's talk about Big Mama and how she dies early. Most of the time, they die because of being stressed and worried over other people's problems and things like that. And a lot of people will look at Big Mama as a good person. We do. Everybody do. We look and say, oh, this is a good person. This is she's a helpful person. She was our backbone. She was our everything. And most of the time, which is obvious, is that when Big Mama do die, the family tends to fall apart because the family, which is adults, young adults and children, tend to put this whole big, responsibility on one person. Now, Big Mama tends to take on all these responsibilities do you know, and let's just say in the black families, a lot of black families be huge, and you'll have one mother of all these people, of all these children, the next generation of children, and she'll take on the whole responsibility of making sure all these people handle their business, go to school, get school clothes, get fed, do this, do that, all these things. And what people don't recognize is that they're wearing Big Mama out, but mostly Big Mama never realized that she needs to stop and take care of herself. So that's what I mean when I talk about somebody being codependent. Big Mama becomes codependent on the people in her family. She is dependent on them needing her to the point where she don't understand it's detrimental to her life. So she just does it to the day she dies young, because we so used to our grandmothers and things like that dying in 50, which 50 is young. 50 is young, and people don't even understand that. And most of the times it's because they took on everybody's problems, and they get addicted to taking on and being better than and being more responsible than other people. And most of the time, I don't know if anybody noticed, but you notice that a lot of times Big Mama be like just crazy, crazy. She be like, and the reason why she's crazy is because all of everybody problems don't ran her nutty. And she never stopped to say, you know what? Hey, come get your kids. Don't drop them off here for a minute. Let me take a trip. Let me kick back. Let me go sit by some water. Let me relax myself. Let me get some rest. Let me eat some good food. Let me eat better. Let me pay attention to my health. And then that's another thing about Big Mama. Big Mama will be going in and out of the hospital. She'll have 1,000 pills on the dresser and all of this. And the thing is that the grown-ups will notice. The grown-ups will notice, but nobody would never step up to the plate and say, hey, you know what, let me get my kids, or let me do this, or let me do that. No, they'll notice, and they'll still allow her to do that. And then what's even more worse is that Big Mama will notice her getting sick, will notice that she's becoming ill, and she'll never stop and say, hey, I need to love myself. I need to take care of myself. And you guys need to maybe, help me to take care of myself, to, to better myself so I can live a little bit longer and things like that. But the thing is Big Mama has became codependent on everybody in her family with drug problems, with just, having too many children without a daddy problem, just a list of things. Her children having children and can't afford them. She'll just get real wrapped up into other people's responsibilities and things like that. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed how she'll go around. We talking about Big Mama right now. We ain't talking about a granddaddy or none of that. We'll get to all of them other people, but you'll notice that she'll even tend to, when she talk to people, if she in the streets, if she at the store, she'll tend to tell how she's the one who has to do this and has to do that, and these people ain't doing this and these people ain't doing that. She finds a bit of a joy in it, of being the most responsible one, being the most one that can handle all these people, and being the person that's ahead of all these people. But she never realized that it's detrimental to her life. You know what I'm saying? It's taking years off of her life. Her worrying about have somebody else aid. Her worrying about is these children taken care of? Do they got school clothes? Is they going to school? Things like that. She never realized to take the time out and take care of herself is the thing, And then most of the times she go to the doctor a lot, and the doctor is trying to basically take care of her, and she don't have a clue how to take care of herself, but she has all the clues on how to take care of all of these children, grandchildren, families, this, friends and neighbors, and all these things. She know how to take care of all these people, but she have no idea on what should she do, how should she do it, how she should, detach from these people and start to work on herself. A lot of times, most of the times, and we all know this, but most of the times these people will be sick. They'll be going to chemotherapy and all these things and stuff like that, and they'll never have the time to stop and figure out a way how they can change their diet, figure out how the way they can get a walk in, figure out how the way they can get away from all these people from stressing them out and worrying them, things like that. But they know what everybody else needs, but they won't have a clue on what they need. And so basically these people, Big Mama will be what you consider codependent. No, she's not codependent on drugs. No, she's not codependent on alcohol, but she's codependent on helping codependent people. So, And so her quality of life is, messed up, shortened, and none of the selfish people around her none of them would ever stop and realize it. Some of those people are so caught up in their own problems and things like that that they don't know how to stop and, gather themselves. And so a lot of people be thinking it's their responsibility when they notice that somebody else is not handling their responsibility. So a lot of people think it's their responsibility to handle those people's responsibilities. And it's just tiring, and it's just like an ongoing thing. And this is a really, really big thing nowadays. It's a really new thing nowadays. And a lot of time, the people, the therapists, the doctors, the healers, those people, they mean well. They mean well. But after so many years, it takes a toll on them. And they become stressed out, and they become bitter, and their lives get to spiral out of hand, and they don't know how to control it because, for one, it's not a chemical. It's not nothing that they can say, okay, I'm going to stop doing this or this and that or whatever. It seems like it's like, oh, I'm caring. I'm loving my family members, or I'm loving my mate, or things like that. So being codependent is tricky. It's tricky because, again, it looks like love. It looks like care. And so you just feel like, hey, I'm loving and I'm caring for my family, or I'm loving and I'm caring for my client, things like that. But you never take the time out and take your energy back from the situation. And that also goes for a lot of tarot readers as well. I noticed that a lot of tarot readers take on a lot of energy, and because of the fact that they're uneducated on the fact that they know, but they don't know enough to know that, okay, this is energy, I need a break. And then they allow people in money run them and say, well, I have to keep doing it, I have to do this, I have to do that, and things like that. And then they feel like, oh, I'm just gonna clear some energy. No, that little bit of energy that you're clearing, that's nothing, and that's why a lot of times, if people pay attention, that the readers always tend to get sick. They always tend to get sick, and then they always tend to leave the job too, especially the new people that's get involved. They leave fast because the fact that they, to a certain extent, they don't understand how energy works, and so they take on a lot of negative energy every day, all day, and don't understand how it can take a toll on their life. That goes for pretty much anybody who's in the business of helping others. You have to stand back, kick back, and love yourself. And when it becomes hard for you to step back and for you to say, okay, let me take some time out for myself, you need to recognize that you're being codependent. You're being codependent on people who's codependent. You're being obsessive over people, problems, life, and issue. Yes, you're put here to help, heal, and etc. But you're not here to lose yourself in the process of doing those things. So basically, for those people who do help heal the planet, basically, those people need to have somebody that they can go to, and those people need to have somebody that they can go to. And we should just, I guess, keep passing the ball, because we always need to be able to take a break. We always need to be able to release. It don't matter who you are. We're all in need of some relaxation, some getting away, some stress relief, and things like that. But codependency, believe it or not, you guys wouldn't believe, this is just the first segment, but it goes so deep. I'm talking about it's a list of things that people do that are codependent on other people, and we wouldn't even know that we're being codependent. So I'm gonna end it with, I recognized that I was codependent, and I start to this was my thing. I'm taking it baby steps. I'm taking baby steps. So my thing was to start telling people no. Just telling folks no, practicing how to say no. And somebody else would probably be like, oh, I know how to say no. Okay, yeah, you know how to say no, but you might not know how to do this, or you might not know how to do that. So listen to what I'm saying. It's a list of things that codependent people do, and you wouldn't even believe that, oh, I'm being codependent. You probably think you're being the best mother in the world. You probably think you're being the best spouse in the world. You just probably thinking you just, that person that's always somebody to lean on and stuff like that. But what you don't realize is how it affects you negatively. It affects you badly, and it kind of holds you up in life sometimes when you don't recognize that, okay, I'm going through something that somebody else, because of somebody else, and you get held up, and life and times tends to pass you by, and then over time you get upset, and then you start dropping people off the wrong way. You start getting rid of folks the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And it's because you were being so passive, and you were trying to be so helpful to the point that you didn't even know that you were being codependent on somebody else's issues, somebody else's problems, and you was looking over your situation. And a lot of people tend to think, I don't have that many problems. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter if you don't have that many problems. You have needs that needs to be met. But if you too busy meeting other people's needs, you'll never get to be able to get to your own. And then those needs will turn into a problem. And then those problems will turn into you being codependent, maybe on some alcohol or drugs or whatever, those people that you were so codependent on is on. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. It was nice talking to you. I do want to talk more. I do want to basically give you more about like codependency. I'm feeling this book that I'm reading and stuff. It's a good book. It has helped me, every time I say no, like when I say it, it don't really feel too good, but later on the next day, or later on in that day, I noticed that I feel so good, because it's like I stood up for myself. I stood up for my energy. I stood up for my mental, you know what I'm saying? And I told people, hey, I tell people, no, now I'm unable to do that, and it feels good and stuff. So that's just one thing that codependent people tend to not be able to do, is say no to other people. So that's just one. But we'll go through all of the things that codependent people, who's not codependent on drugs and alcohol, but codependent on the people that surround them, or the people that's in their life, or their clients, and things like that, are hooked on, and stuff like that. So like I said, it was nice talking with you. We'll talk again. Thank you. Bye.